Hello and welcome. I am so glad you're here for this part of our Parashat Shavua and relationship series with Mazal Klein. Today we're going to talk about something that can be, well, just paralyzing. It's doubt. You know that feeling when you're just stuck in a relationship and you have no idea which way to turn? Yeah, that one. So let's dive right in and really unpack this together.
You know, it almost always comes down to this one single huge question, right? Do I keep going with this or do I stop? It's that moment where you're just frozen at a crossroads and it feels like every single path is covered in fog. And that feeling, it's just so frustrating.
And of course, that one big question never stays alone for long, does it? It just spirals into this endless loop of other questions. Should I really open up and be vulnerable, or should I just wait a little longer? Is this worth another chance, or am I just wasting my time? Look, if any of this is ringing a bell for you, I want you to know you are so not alone. This is exactly what it feels like to be at the crossroads of doubt.
Okay, but here's the most important thing I want you to hear right now. Feeling this way is totally 100% natural. These doubts, they don't just pop up out of thin air. They actually come from somewhere specific. They have roots. And figuring out what those roots are, that is the absolute first step to getting unstuck. So let's do that right now. Let's take a closer look. We're going to unpack the four main things that really drive this hesitation. Because, you know, once you can actually put a name to what's holding you back, that's when you start to get your power back. That's when you can actually start to deal with it. All right, so first up, we have the fear of loss. This is that little nagging voice in the back of your head going, but what if there's someone better for me out there? Then, number two, you've got the fear of disappointment. This one's huge, especially if you've been hurt before. It's that constant thought, how can I possibly know this isn't going to end up the exact same way? Number three is the big one, the need for certainty. That overwhelming feeling that you absolutely have to be 100% sure before you can make a single move. And finally, number four is good old perfectionism. This is the one that says, hey, if this isn't the perfect fairy tale I imagined, well, then it's just not it. Wow. Yeah, any one of those is more than enough to keep you completely stuck, right? But this is where everything changes. This is where a really deep idea comes into play, one that can literally flip your entire perspective on its head. What we're talking about here is a complete mental switch-up, a way to finally untangle all those knots of doubt. And the answer it gives us? I'm going to bet it's not what you think it is. So here it is. It's this beautiful piece of ancient wisdom. Ein simcha kehetaharet hasefokot. Now, that basically translates to, there is no joy like the resolution of doubts. Simple enough, right? But the real magic, the big secret, is hiding in what that word resolution actually means here. See, resolving doubt isn't about finally getting that 100% ironclad absolute certainty. No way. It's actually the total opposite. It's about giving yourself permission to be in doubt, to just be okay with not knowing, and then choosing to move forward anyway, with joy. It's about accepting that you're not supposed to have all the answers, and that's okay. And when you grasp that, it just completely changes the game. You realize the goal isn't to find certainty anymore. Nope, the goal is to find courage. So let's really define what we mean by courage here. Courage is not the absence of fear or doubt, not at all. Courage is making the decision to move forward despite the doubt. Think of it like this. You're standing at the edge of a misty river, and you can only see one stepping stone in front of you. Courage is taking that first step, trusting that the next stone will appear right when you need it. And that right there, that brings us to the real heart of it all. Because once you stop chasing that impossible goal of certainty and instead start practicing courage just a little bit every day, you unlock something incredible. You unlock the ability to find joy right now, right in the middle of the journey, not just at the destination. Because what we start to understand is that real, lasting joy, it doesn't come from the outside world being perfect and predictable. It comes from the inside. It comes from building an internal trust, a kind of faith that things are unfolding just as they should. And when we can finally accept the uncertainty, we can let go of that heavy, heavy weight of doubt and just move forward with a sense of peace. So, I'll leave you with a question to think about. In your own life, when the answers just aren't clear, what helps you choose courage? What gives you that little push to take the next step? Now, if any of this really connected with you and you feel like you want to explore it a bit deeper, I really encourage you to reach out to Mazal Klein. She's a fantastic coach for happy relationships and marriage, and she helps couples build that closer communication we've been talking about. You can reach her on her cell at 052-328-6037. Thank you so much for being here with me today.